Good morning, awkward angels. It's your girl, Awkwardhousebae, aka Ashley. In today's video, um, as you probably noticed, that is my mugshot. And yes, I look a lot different. That was one of the worst times of my life, and I was really, really broken. I didn't think that I could get better, but I still wanted to try. I'm honestly kind of nervous to tell this story because um, it's it's a hard story to tell, but I feel that it's really important to tell this story because I want to inspire other people that are going through this addiction, mental illness, homelessness, to know that they aren't permanently broken, and even after years and years of addiction and untreated mental illness, you can turn your whole life around. So I'll pretty much start with what led up to it. Well, I first moved to Miami to be with my husband. I already had addiction issues. I completely hid that from my husband at first. He knew I had prescriptions for some medicines, and he didn't really know the extent of everything that I was into, but he soon found out and he tried to get me to go to treatment. I did go to treatment once down here, but I just relapsed right away as soon as I came back to Miami. And also say that Miami is just so easy to get whatever substance you want. Like, I was literally outside the library and there was someone outside the library, like, just asking people if they wanted, this or wanted that. So then what happened is, one day I had walked down to this really bad neighborhood. It's called Overtown. It is extremely dangerous. I would always cover my hair. I would wear like a COVID mask, just to kind of blend in a little bit more. I would usually just go get my stuff. It was like a homeless encampment on the side of the road, a row of tents, and you just walk up there and get whatever you want and walk away. And on this particular night, I did that. And as I was walking away, a police officer came up and they had stopped me, and they caught me with that, and they charged me with attempting to buy and with possession of a dangerous drug. And I was so scared. Like, I was in Miami. I'm gonna be going to jail in Miami. I was terrified. But when I was in the cop car going to jail, the cop lady was like, "Well, is this your first felony and time getting arrested here in Miami?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she was like, "Well, you're going to be able to just get right out for free. They let people whose first time here, getting in trouble, they let them right out for free." And they did. They did let me right out. But I unknowingly kind of entered into this probation program. It's called drug court. And it's like this really long program where you have to go to rehab, you have to pay for all these drug tests, you have to do a lot of therapy and stuff, and if you mess up, you have to restart over. So I started trying to do that program. I got on medication that like helps you not relapse, and it was going good for a long time, but I have no excuse. I relapsed again, and when I relapsed again, my husband kicked me out of the house because I had gotten pregnant and had a baby, and he kicked me out of the house, and he was like, "No, you're not gonna be here anymore. I can't have you around the baby. you're too dangerous, and I totally respect him for that, and I will never forgive myself for that. So I was pretty much homeless, and I stayed with random people that weren't good people, and then the person I was staying with, we like, it wasn't healthy. I had to leave there, and then I was just like walking around outside in Overtown by myself, and this guy had said, "Oh, hey, what's up?" He was asking me why I was out there and stuff, and I was so stupid. So stupid. That I, don't ever, if you're a young girl, and you're out on the street, and somebody asks you if you want to smoke with them, don't you dare. Because they will say that you owe them then. So he smoked with me, and he then said that I owed him, and I had to come with him. So he took me to these woods, I don't even know where, and he was like completely crazy. And he made me stay there all night long. I had to lay on the ground. He threatened to stab me. He threatened to punch me in the face. He just was mostly mad that I was white. That was his big rant. He made me listen to his rants all night long about how much he hated white people and how I was a huge whore and how I'm what's wrong with the world and how disgusted he is by me and everything. So, I thought, hey, I'm not gonna make it out alive tonight. He's going to murder me. So I tried to say, I have a daughter and I want to go home to her, and to maybe make him like soften his heart towards me, but he didn't care at all. And then it was like getting early morning, and I was dying of thirst. So I imagine he was, because he was just like smoking all night long. And then I was like, wow, I'm really thirsty. I just try to play along and be as friendly and nice as possible, not say anything. It's like, I'm really thirsty. I got money on my debit card a little bit. Let's go to McDonald's and get a drink. And so we did, and I knew the area that I was in. If I had started running down the street and screaming, nobody would stop to help me. That's like an everyday thing there that would just be ignored. So I didn't just break off and start running. I walked with him, and then we got to McDonald's, and I'm like, I'm just gonna jump over the counter and tell him to call the cops. I don't care, and I knew I was broken my probation. I don't care. I wanted to go to jail. I didn't want to be out there anymore. I was going to be killed if I didn't get away from him. He had been threatening me all night. So I jumped over the counter. I'm probably, you guys see the mugshot. That's how I looked. I probably smelled horrible. I stepped in stagnant water. My shoes smelled horrible. I jumped over the counter. I was shaking. Sorry to those McDonald's people, but I said, he kidnapped me. Help me. Please call the cops. He's gonna hurt me. He has a knife. And they did call the cops. They like, get out from behind the counter. You can't be back here. But I wouldn't move. And then he ran away. And I then sat in the booth, and they brought me water, and I sat there. I felt so disgusting and dirty and ashamed, like complete filth. I can't describe to you guys how dirty I felt. And I'm sorry, hold on. Okay, I'm sorry. I just want to tell this story very clearly. I don't want to be crying, but it is a very emotional story to me. He ran away, and the cops showed up, and I went outside and I told him what had happened, and then he came back and he came up to us, and the officer put me in the car, and he was talking to him, and I see he let him walk away, and he basically had said that I was an addict and he was my boyfriend type of guy, I guess. That's what he said. And then I was mad at him that he wouldn't give me money for my substances, so, that I was just lying about it. And the cop was like, do you, want to try to take things further? But he didn't really seem like he believed me or cared. And I didn't want to, go to court for that or anything. I didn't want anyone to know. I still don't. I don't even partly know why I'm sharing this, but I feel I have to. Because I know there's somebody out there that maybe thinks they can't come back because of everything they've done, that they're too broken. But no, I don't want to be really religious here, but God will forgive you if you are truly sorry, and I believe that I was saved for a reason, and I believe that I definitely have guardian angels, because I could have been unalived so many times, especially that night. But anyway, I was taken to the jail because, like I said, I had skipped out on my probation pretty much and felt like trash. The female officers they looked like revolted by me. I asked one of them, I was like, can I just please take a shower? I feel so dirty. And they were like, yeah. And so I took a shower there. I had to put on, this, really disgusting Velcro dress. No, and I felt, after, everything I had been through, I just wanted to be covered up, but I had to wear that Velcro dress, and it shows your whole arms. It's kind of short, so it shows off your legs. You don't have underwear, you don't have a bra. I had to walk by all the male inmates like that. I just felt like, I can't describe it. I can't describe it. It was horrible. And then, they made me go in solitary confinement, and I told you guys about that it's horrible. We barely got toilet paper. You would scream for toilet paper, and they wouldn't come. And, I was really sick, too. So, I vomited on the floor, and they just left it for days. I don't want to get into those details, but you can imagine I was really sick and I couldn't always make it to the bathroom, and they told me to just clean it up with toilet paper, but I didn't have any, so it just stayed there until I finally got to leave that cell. And I didn't know how I was going to come back from it, but I knew that I had to change, and I couldn't live like this anymore. That either I was going to unalive myself or I was going to change. And I do believe in God, like I said, so I felt like I was given a chance before. I tried to unalive myself before. I ended up in a coma, and I survived, and I promised I would never try that again. So I knew I had to change, and I went to court, and they wanted me to do the rehab again, but part of doing that rehab shit again, treatment, drug court, was you had to stay in Miami, and my husband wasn't willing to let me come home yet. I had to prove myself, so I said no, I'm just gonna take the jail time, and they're kind of downing me for that in court, but I think that was what saved my life, is going to jail for not long time, 6 months, and then getting out of Miami for a while. If I would have had stayed and had to go, sorry about that, if I had to go to a treatment center and like go to a homeless shelter or something, no, it wouldn't have been good. So luckily, thank God, like my brother had said, like, hey, if you go and do this jail and you take everything seriously, I will send money on your books. I'll write you. I'll answer your phone calls because it gets really, really lonely in there. So he did. And then when they let you out of psych, there's when you first go into jail, they give you like socks and underwear and bra. But when you go to psych, they don't give you that. So then you would think they would give you that when you're going in a general population, but they don't. So then I'm feeling exposed completely for weeks on end in there, you know. When I finally get to general population and I can order canteen, I do. I order a bra, underwear, socks. Actually, though, before I did get my canteen, I was being walked to medical to get my medicine, and it was a male sergeant guy, because he was like a higher up, because he had like the thing on, and I had told him, like, hey, I don't have any underwear, I don't have any socks, and he was like, oh, you don't have any underwear? And then I was like, yeah, I'm cold, you know, because then I was starting to feel kind of awkward. And then he was like, well, I'm hard. That's legit what he said to me. And you guys say, oh, you can report that. Yeah, they would never believe me. They would never believe an inmate. They all stick together. Um, so I got all my canteen stuff, thank God, and uh I got robbed like several times. People would go in my cell because my cell was up in the corner, up in the top floor, and my roommate had schizophrenia. She was no help at all, but we were the only two white women like around the same age, so they put us together, and she had a really sad story. God bless her heart. She was homeless and she had horrible mental health, but I got robbed a lot there, and then they moved me to some other dorm, which I was kind of upset because I did have one like old lady that I was friends with. I would like give her some of my canteen, but we would always sit together and talk, and she was like really cool. So if you ever see this, Miss Helen, hi. I'm doing okay. I'm with my husband. I hope you're okay. She lives in Miami, but I don't, obviously know if we'll ever cross paths. Hold on, sorry. So yeah, then I went to this other psych part, and it was worse because in the first one I was at, because I did go to general population, but it was psych general population, like all people psych, but they're like in more of a free environment, and we had books. And then I went to the second one, we didn't have books, but nobody ever stole from me there. It was just mostly really, really boring and really lonely. Like nobody ever really messed with me other than try to steal my stuff. But everybody knew that I just kept to myself and stayed in my cell, and I'd use the phone and take a shower, but I pretty much stayed 24/7 in my cell for months. And how does it affect me now? It does affect me a little bit, because I have a record, and just the whole experience of before jail, and just the whole being in isolation. Yeah, that affects me, but so I'm not hiding it now. I am ashamed of it, but I don't want to be ashamed of it, because I have changed and I want to use my voice for good. I want to say that God is real. He saved my life, and I believe that He has something planned. I don't know what, but if there's any other moms out there, women that have been through addiction, have been through trauma, have um, done horrible things and almost lost your kids or lost your kids, please follow me. Don't be scared to comment or anything because I honestly, it's hard to talk about, and I would love to have more people in my life that have been through what I've been through to just make it easier to cope with. I'm sorry I get so emotional in these vlogs, guys. I thank you guys if you sat through this really long vlog, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.